Welcome, metal enthusiasts, to a very special episode of the Metal Dude Abides. Today, we're going to a concert at Red Rocks in Morrison, Colorado in April. Can you believe this weather? We're going to see Amon Amarth, the Legends, one of our favorite bands. We're going to see Cannibal Corpse. We're going to see Obituary. And I think the opening band is Frozen Soul. So we're going to be taking videos, we're going to be taking pictures, we'll be downloading them, and then after the show we'll tell you all about what you missed. Welcome, metal enthusiasts, to another episode of the Metal Dude Abides. This week we're going to do something a little bit different, something unique. So if you like this content, put a thumbs up in the video. As you know, normally we're doing a series from here in the house, but for once we're going to go outside of my domicile and go to one of the best concerts of the year. Recently went and saw Amon Amarth at Red Rocks Amphitheater. So I thought I'd give you a review of the show, give you a few clips, and talk about what ended up being a very great night. First and foremost, let me just tell you about weather in Colorado. On Saturday, it was a blizzard. Snow, freezing rain, you name it. By Monday, nice. Upper 60s, as you'll see from the clips. Just a beautiful evening to see a concert. Love Red Rocks. So, let's get right to it. We're going to go through all the bands that were there, and we're going to start with the very opening act, Frozen Soul. The second band of the evening was Obituary. Now, I had seen Obituary before. In fact, they had opened for Amon Amarth on a tour, I'm going to say about a year ago, and was very impressed with them then, but I thought this was an even better set. They broke in, they started the concert with the legendary Redneck Stomp, one of their classic songs. But for the most part, the rest of the album, or the rest of the concert, was pretty much mostly songs of their 2023 album, Dying of Everything. Really good. It's a really good album, and so I enjoyed this set quite a bit. A couple of the highlights were The Wrong Time and the title track, Dying of Everything. I thought both of those songs were highlights, and here's a clip from how they finished the concert with a little bit of Dying of Everything. Things really got going with the next act as Cannibal Corpse hit the stage. And I have to admit, this is the first time I've actually seen Cannibal Corpse live. You know, you would think our paths would have crossed. Of course, this is a band that's been around for decades. First time I got to see them, and I have to say, really good, really brought the energy up, really brought the crowd into it. While Obituary was very good, I really did feel like Cannibal Corpse took it to that next level. They started off the set with a song called Scourge of Iron. And unlike Obituary, I felt like Cannibal Corpse played a lot more spread out across a lot of different albums, from some of their old classic stuff and some of their new stuff. Speaking of their new stuff, they did play my two favorite songs off the new album. That would be Blood Bind and Summon for Sacrifice, two really good songs. But one of the things that I think was most impressive on the night is the amount of headbanging the lead singer did. Check this out. impressive. He was wearing a shirt the whole night. Respect the neck or something of such. Dude has a neck on him like I have never seen. Finally, they end the show with their classic hammer smash face. Let's take a brief listen at that. As much as I've enjoyed these first three bands, let's not make any mistake here. I'm here to see a Monomarth, one of my favorite bands of all time. I've seen them live several times, but to see them at Red Rocks in live and in person was very cool. First of all, as I said earlier, we had just gotten out of a blizzard. It was perfectly clear, nice full moon, beautiful evening. If you've never been to Red Rocks, you can see on the thumbnail beautiful redstone cliffs coming up on both sides of the arena, and a Monomarth shown the runes characters were being broadcast up on the Red Rocks. Very cool stuff. Right off the bat, a Monomarth just kicks in with one of my favorite songs, Pursuit of Vikings. Let's take a listen. As much as I say I profess a love of a Monomarth, I have to say they played a couple of deep tracks here that I wasn't really all that familiar with. One being Tattered Banners, the other being Blood Eagle. But it didn't take long before they cut into one of their all-time fan favorites, Guardians of Asgard. Let's take a listen. Man, the crowd was jazzed after Guardians of Asgard. Really got the crowd pumping. Before we get too much farther, let's talk about that stage show, right? So the drum set sets on top of this Viking mask, where the eye holes have some videos in there. They're showing all sorts of things: snow, fire, really cool effects. And if you'll notice, on both sides of the stage, they have these huge, very similar to my Lord of the Rings background here, just two huge, what look to be stone Viking, monolithic type of towers. Really cool. If you have a chance to see a Monomarth, yes, their music's great, but their stage show is also fantastic. But not to be outdone, not only do they have great setup, they also have a surprise appearance by you-know-who, Loki, in the song Deceiver of the Gods. Now, the highlight of any Monomarth concert, to me, is not only listening to the band, but, crowd participation. And one of the best times you're going to have is when they break into the song, Put Your Back into the Oar. Because what happens is everybody gets down on the floor and starts rowing. Now, for a big old guy like myself, trying to get on the floor of a concert hall and row is pretty hard. But at Red Rocks, we have seats. So we all were able to get into it's not really seats, it's like a row of rock, but it's like a chair, so you sit down and you can really get to rowing. I have a clip from that song. I don't have a clip of the people rowing. It was awesome. Red Rocks, I'm not sure it was sold out that night, but it was close. I mean, it was all the way to the top. So picture 9,000 people simultaneously rowing to this song. Check it out. One of the highlights of the show. Another of my favorite songs, and luckily for me, a staple in Amon Amarth concerts, Way of the Vikings, complete with a sword duel and everything. Well, check it out for yourselves. Finally, we get to the end of the set, and Amon Amarth is really cooking by this point, playing two of my favorites, Raise the Shield Wall, and of course, the legendary Raise Your Horns. This is the classic Viking drinking song, and let me tell you, those guys get the horns out, and they drink some serious amount of beer out of those things. And again, this is back to another great participation song, because as we are all raising our horns and drinking and being Vikings, there's a great sing-along part of it as well. Check that out. What a great time. A funny story, when one of the times we went and saw Amon Amarth, they sell drinking horns there at the concerts. And again, at Red Rocks, we all have like a seat, and it was, you had plenty of room. You weren't getting smashed or moshed too badly. But at one point, we went and saw him in a much smaller arena on the floor, nothing but a huge mosh pit. My son got himself a drinking horn, and that thing barely survived the night through all the moshing and smashing into people. A little bit more, not as much moshing. And you know what? As much as I love a good mosh pit, it was nice to have just be there and listen to the crowd. So really good stuff. Now, Amon Amarth did have an encore, and of course it's probably their most well-known song. They have a trademark song. Amon Amarth has so many great songs, it's hard to picture one as their trademark. But it might just be this one, as they closed with Twilight of the Thunder Gods. Let's take a brief listen to that. There you have it. One of the best concert nights I've had in a long time. 4 great bands. Again, go check out Frozen Soul, a newer band, I'm guessing, out of Dallas, Texas. Really good stuff. Obituary and Cannibal Corpse just got through putting new albums out in 2023. Really like both bands. Cannibal Corpse was one of the bands that I thought for album of the year, very close to making my top 5 albums of the year, and quite frankly, Summon for Sacrifice made my top 20 songs, if you haven't taken a listen to that video. So really big year for Cannibal Corpse. And then again, like I said, all that overshadowed by the great Amon Amarth. If you've never seen Amon Amarth in concert, you got to go see these bands. You'll notice in that last clip with the encore, the lead singer goes out, fights a giant sea serpent. it's just from beginning to the end. They really are an engaging band. They have the great music. They have a great stage show. But lots of things happening on the stage, whether it's Loki showing up or sea serpents or big statues, flames coming out of a Viking's mask, big massive Viking ship. They've got it all. Really good stuff. I've seen them a number of times. I think this was my favorite Amon Amarth event. So if you have a chance to go see them live, best do it. And that's it. Once again, going back to the beginning of the video, this is my first time doing a concert review. If you like this type of content, please give this a thumbs up. And next concert that comes to town, I'll try to do something similar. If, this isn't your cup of tea, that's fine. But we're always looking to bring just what's happening in metal. And this was one of the most exciting tours I've seen in a long time. I believe the lead singer for Frozen Soul was saying that this was the first death metal concert in the history of Red Rocks Amphitheater. It's great to see people going out and supporting metal. Again, 9,000 people strong on a Monday night. Warm to the cockles of my heart. I love to see. It seems like in the last few years, metal's kind of coming back, a little bit of a resurgence. So go out and support your metal when it comes to your town. Go out and see some live music. It's absolutely fantastic. And that's it. I will see you all back here next Tuesday. I believe we're going to be talking about the great band Accept. But in the meantime, this is the Metal Dude signing off. Take care.